win. What part the game is that? We've been here the whole time, anxiously waiting. And the streets paper chase, supreme testing our patience. Now stop the presses. Listen up, this is not a lecture. More like a message with a flow that's as hot as peppers. Pop the only way you can stop this villain. I'm sick with it, with a moxicillin. I've been the illest since ill kid Operation Red.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. And coming right up, we'll see the Milwaukee Bucks playing against the Mavericks in Dallas. And right now for Dallas, they certainly seem to be on a mission. They have been a team on a mission this season. Best record in the NBA. We're getting deep into the schedule now, and they continue playing dominant basketball. Well, the Bucks had teased it during the playoffs, and finally it's been revealed. So what do you think, Shaq, about the Bucks' new logo?
Well, it's a sexy transition from red to gold. You know, it's pretty cool. The secondary logo, and I know this for a fact, it incorporates the state of Milwaukee. I know this, Ernie, because you're from the mean.
It's the Mavericks in Dallas, Texas for a little interconference action here at the American Airlines Center. Well, the holidays always bring us some incredible NBA action. That's certainly what we have in store for us today. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, and on the sideline tonight, Doris Burke. You look at the Bucks. Things have really gone south on them. Over the course of the last 7 games, they've gone 1-6.
Kevin, in recent games, their luck has been all bad and tough. And that could very well continue against the team they're facing here in this ball game. It's not going to be easy to end the streak.
And you don't want to have to face these guys on any given night. Never mind when you're in the midst of a struggle. But the timing could not be worse, but the opportunity couldn't be any better.
Now, the starting group for the Milwaukee Bucks. We've got Vasquez, Parker out there with Monroe. Then it's Chris Middleton, and it's Ingles in at the 3 spot.
And Greg Monroe really has had a good young career despite playing out of position for much of it. He has the size and skill set of an agile center, but was made to play power forward in Detroit once they drafted Andre Drummond, and that took some getting used to. Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Screen by Monroe. Parker with a clean look. That falls. Great assist by Vasquez. Parker's got his second bucket tonight. We're talking about Greg Monroe, and Greg, you gave us a nice little synopsis. He doesn't have, Clark, the long-range jumper teams are now asking out of that position in this day and age in the NBA.
Yeah, more teams want that stretch power forward. He's not super athletic. Where he does his greatest damage is in the painted area. There's still value in that.
And he gets it to go. Caspi's got his first points of the game.
And early on, they look great. They've made all 4 of their shots to start this game.
Here's Parker. Rebound by Caspi.
And really, despite that miss, they've had a solid start offensively.
Stolen. Fast break, Milwaukee. Ball going up court. Here's Middleton. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist.
And early on, they've been nearly perfect from the floor. Just the one miss here on their first 5 attempts.
And Caspi kicks to Adams. Pass to Caspi from downtown. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2. Guys, what a tight start to the game this has been.
You know what? Can you believe there have been 7 lead changes already, guys?
Wow.
And it's still in the first half. This could be a wild one.
Now here's Vasquez. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Toronto. Parker. Here's Monroe. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot. Monroe's got 5 now.
And getting after it on the offensive glass and adding to that early total with the put.
Wow, what a game for them so far. Very impressive. They haven't missed yet.
The Milwaukee Bucks ended last season 41 up and 41 down, a perfect 500 mark, and they were the epitome, Clark, of average at the end of the season, and as you can see, even during it.
Well, they're a young team, but at one point, 17-17, also had an 11-11 record against the East and 6-6 against the West.
Dallas on defense. Screen by Monroe. The shot by Middleton. Wide open. Offensive rebound. And that one's good. And it's 7 points for Greg Monroe. For Dallas, they've gone a perfect 6 for 6 in the game up to this point. And the basket by Nowitzki.
And the Bucks were average last season. I mean, they were 17-17. Also 7-7 at home, 10-10 on the road, 5-5 in the games leading up to that. So in every measurable way, they were 500. Man, he's having quite the quarter, converting at a really high percentage.
Back to Adams. And Caspi kicks to Matthews. The kick out to Williams. A 3-ball. Milwaukee with the rebound. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to the Raptors.
And you don't have to go too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost that one. They just had an inability on that day to make shots.
You know, sometimes we talk about a defense getting into the heads of the opposing players, Greg, but that night they got up in their own heads, just got in their own way and couldn't get out of it.
Bucks have gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks.
You know, just thinking back to that Milwaukee factoid again, I mean, the odds that we'll ever see something like that happen again are minuscule. I mean, that team was just destined to end up 41-41.
Wes Matthews, a hard-nosed player on the wing. Strong frame, and he really does put it to good use at both ends.
Speaking of Matthews' strength, he really gets into you defensively.
Yeah, he wants to make you feel him. I mean, very physical. And offensively, he likes to post up and back down weaker, smaller defenders. I mean, you give him that mismatch, he will attack it with vigor.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Pachulia, he's checked in for Steven Adams. Favors comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. That's Felton in for Casper. Now, here's Felton. Turned in an outstanding game against Chicago. Three-pointer. Dallas, no good that time either. Bucks trail by 4. And there's the pass to Vaughn. From 10 feet out, rebound by Raymond Felton. Matthews goes in. Plumlee with some nice D.
I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup. And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for the Mavericks?
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the opening man and getting some easy baskets.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
Here's Henson, and he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
It took him no time at all on that one.
And back and forth we go. That bucket gives us another lead change.
Too many of those to count. These teams have matched each other shot for shot, play for play. It has been impressive.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
It always seems the Mavs are able to compete for a title, Clark, but their window might be closing with some of their stars aging, namely Dirk Nowitzki.
You're exactly right, Kevin, because Dirk is the centerpiece of that franchise, has been for over a decade. They made the Rondo trade last year trying for a big finals run, but eventually they'll start to have to build for the future.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Lee's checked in. Here's Vasquez. Mavericks with the rebound. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And guys, that was their night. I mean, it seemed like everything they shot went in.
It happens that way sometimes, guys. It was just one of those games where the hot shooting of a couple of players became contagious, and nobody was stoppable.
And when you look at the Mavs, they have always built through free agency, still tinkered with the roster this season to get into a position to compete. Not having any lottery picks for so long has hampered their youth and development.
Nice shot by Felton.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
Kicks to Henson. DeMayo. Plumlee, the pass to Mayo. That one's off, still out of sync. The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 7. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And we heard from John Henson before the game, a player on the rise. He feels he still has a lot to prove. Well, it sounds like he still feels like he has something to prove, Greg, but seems to me he's already known for being that kind of guy.
Yeah, that's a great point. Anybody who plays against him knows he looks plenty strong when you're banging with him. But if he needs to push and motivate himself by playing with a chip on his shoulder, well, a lot of guys have gone a long, long way in this league using that method.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And guys, what's your take so far on the Mavs?
Just the start they're looking for in this game. Solid offensively through the first.
Very crisp and sharp. Not much stagnation at all on offense.
Felton is out there with Matthews. Then there's Caspi. Then there's Nowitzki. And it's Adams in at the center, locking down the middle. So that's who Dallas starts the second with.
And boy, how good was Chris Middleton last season? I mean, always a deep shooter who could stretch the floor. He hits the weight room in the offseason and became a much stronger defender. Now he's one of the more promising 3-and-D guys in the league.
And here is Mayo. Dirk Nowitzki getting his 3 to go. Felton against Mayo. Here's Monroe. Matthews with the rebound.
Right thing there to stay that tight on him and really try to keep him out of his comfort zone.
Felton inside the three-point line. Rebound by Parker.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Screen by Monroe. Off the screen. And that one off the back of the rim and in. 8 points for Jabari Parker.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Williams, he's checked in for Matthews. Dallas leading by 9. Felton kicks to Nowitzki. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
There's the dish to Mayo. Monroe down low. He's against Nowitzki, and it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line. That's going to send Greg Monroe to the line. Dirk Nowitzki picks up that one. One thing about Greg Monroe, he is a highly skilled big.
He really is. I love the fact that he can do so much. He can post you up, he can pop out and knock down the 15-footer. He's an outstanding passer, and at his size, those are skills that have served him and his teams well.
Here's Middleton. Darren Williams picking up that last basket. Parker sets the screen for Middleton. A three-pointer off the mark. Mavericks have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. And Adams kicks to Felton. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Caspi dishes to Nowitzki from 15 feet away. And Dallas again with the bucket.
And getting back to Greg Monroe, guys, he made some subtle strides last season. Best rebounding average of his career, up to 75% on his free throws. And how about this little nugget? Not one three-point attempt last season. That tells you he's starting to mature.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. But look at the Mavericks. They're looking extremely sharp right now, poised in the top spot and playing very well. And, of course, Oklahoma City, right on their heels and with their sights set on gaining ground.
And, you know, for the Mavericks, they have caught the entire league off guard. This was not a position anyone thought they'd be in at this stage of the season.
And the credit belongs to them for what they did and didn't do during the offseason. I mean, they had a vision, they set it out, and they've stayed true to it. And you know, with some people, they'll always find something wrong with Monroe's game. He'll never make the all-defensive team. He kind of looks like he's playing at half speed, but he produces, and he does it within the team compound.
And they're able to recover.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
And I think everyone knew the Bucks would be much improved last season, but to see the jump into the middle of the playoff picture, I think that took everybody by surprise.
And the Mavericks with some changes. Pachulia, he's checked in for Adams. And Derek Favors subbed in for Dirk Nowitzki. And then for Milwaukee, Miles Plumlee's checked in for Monroe. John Henson comes in for Parker. And it's Vasquez in for O.J. Mayo. Here's Inglis. 5 on the clock. And stolen by Favors. Here we go, all alone. And good. He got the Inglis that time as it falls. And the Mavericks lead by 14.
An excellent display of passing out there, fellas. I mean, 8 of their last 10 points have been assisted on.
And they just keep finding the open man.
Vasquez passes to Henson. The shot's good. Vasquez making the play. Vasquez has got his 7th assist here tonight. Dishes it to Felton. Here's Favors. Can't get it to go. The Bucks go the other way with it. And this matchup with the Mavericks, it's the first meeting of the season.
Yeah, and they put up a goose egg last year when they played this team twice.
And you look back at those games, just a one-sided affair between them.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And, Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
And the Bucks making a change here. Wands checked in. The Mavericks shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game. That's good from Felton.
And as they always seem to do, the Mavs feasted on the Eastern Conference last season. Dallas would end up with 50 wins on the year, and 21 of them coming against the East.
Here's Felton after the basket by Milwaukee. Williams kicks to Favors. The 10-footer. And Henson pulls it down. Bucks trail by 13. As you said, the Mavs just taking it to the Eastern Conference. It's been that way for a long time, it seems. They've really Clark got that number.
Well, under the Mavs' current ownership, they have never had a losing record against the Eastern Conference, Kevin. Beating up the East is why they've been in the playoffs so much in the last 15 years. Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at either end, steals, fast break buckets, and the other team scrambling to find its game.
Great point. I mean, that aggression has allowed them to just create a lot of havoc, and boy, are they taking advantage.
And there's the call on Pachulia. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
Greg, no problem for me with that call. I mean, he was still sliding right there.
David Lee's checked in for the Mavericks. Matthews comes in for Raymond Felton. Plumlee with a screen on Williams. 6 on the shot clock to the wing right side. No good on the shot, a bit long that time.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
No good from Caspi.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for him.
Vasquez kicks to Inglis, out to the wing. Here's Plumlee, and again the Bucks miss. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Williams dishes to Caspi. And it's off from three-point range. Bucks trail by 15. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Vasquez with it. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. And he gets it to go.
Showing the quickness right there. Just tough to keep up with it.
And so we conclude the first half. It's Dallas. They lead by 13. We'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. We saw Dirk Nowitzki lighting it up in the first half. He had 14 points, 2 block shots, and 2 rebounds. He put last game's performance behind him, doing some nice work in the opening period tonight. Shaq, what's your take on Dallas?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could push the tempo, they did. And a lot of times it kept the defense scrambling like eggs with the cheese and apple juice.
Kenny, what was your takeaway on Milwaukee?
Can this team please get fired up on defense? I mean, get angry, get upset. Guys are way too soft and giving up way too many good looks. At some point, you got to draw the line in the sand. Be like, okay, who's crossing this line? If you're coming over here, I'm taking a hard foul, and I'm going to resist you on defense.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin.
As we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Dirk Nowitzki having a dominant impact in this game.
And his play in that first half, how about the discipline to go along with the efficiency, guys? His shot selection was just perfect.
I agree. I mean, whether it's been from mid-range or in tight, he is taking only what the defense is giving him and not trying to do too much. Very much playing within himself.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. And Milwaukee, looking at who they've got. They've got Jabari Parker, Vasquez out there with Chris Middleton. Then there's Monroe, and it's Ingles in at the 3. And the Bucks with possession here. The Mavericks making the shot. Screen by Monroe for 3. Middleton, another miss by Middleton.
Well, they've only got a slight edge in rebounding when you look at the numbers, but it certainly feels a lot bigger than it is.
Yeah, the score has a lot to do with that. Their overall effort and execution has been elite.
Williams with the steal. And he banks in the layup. Williams has got 8.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
All about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks their coach drew up.
And that one's good. Parker.
Great way to start the half. Easy layup against some soft D.
Well, Milwaukee last year became just the 9th team in NBA history to go from Greg being the worst in the league to a playoff team.
Unbelievable what they accomplished. And they had a tough matchup in the first round with the playoff season Bulls, however. Things didn't go well, but they did get some valuable experience from that effort.
Raymond Felton, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. Middleton left side. That falls. Great assist by Vasquez. Middleton's got his second basket of the game.
Oh, terrific way to finish that move there, going to the basket.
Fast break, Milwaukee. Now here's Vasquez, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. He dishes it to Monroe. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Wesley Matthews picks one up.
Complete domination. What a game for Monroe. He has 14 points, and he's getting it done on the glass, too.
You're right, Clark. He's done some real nice work on the inside. And Jason Kidd has seen a lot of things in his first few years of coaching. Already changed teams once and had some personnel issues, but you cannot deny that he knows how to get the most out of his team.
Derek Favors checked in for Dirk Nowitzki. Bucks trail by 19. Parker outside. Pass to Middleton. The shot. And that's good for 2. Middleton's got 4 this quarter. And with Kidd, the results on the floor, Greg, speak for themselves. He knows what he wants out of his players, Clark, and He keeps him accountable.
And, you know, having that accountability is what made the Bucks so much better last season. Kidd is still a very young head coach, but I tell you what, he's shown me a bright future in that capacity for himself.
Just a boneheaded play there, guys, plain and simple.
Well, tell me how you really feel about that, Greg. But you're right. I mean, mistakes like that will keep you from cutting deficits, no doubt.
You know, I love how he absorbs the foul and still had a chance to knock that one down.
Boy, terrific play there. I thought even with all the contact, he still was going to get that shot to go down.
The Mavericks shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Boy, I tell you what, you can't even compare their numbers at the free throw line last season to the numbers this year. I mean, they are so much better.
Both free throws good from Felton. 3rd quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. Middleton against Matthews. To the middle, here's Monroe. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Monroe's got 17 now. Mavericks leading by 19 points. Caspi passes to Favors. Outside for Felton. Caspi dishes to Matthews. Snatched away. A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the 3rd. Middleton against Matthews. And Middleton kicks to Mayo. Just 5 to shoot. Milwaukee needs to get off a shot here. Middleton can't get it to go.
You know, so many games are decided by which team wins the rebound battle, and that's held true in this one so far.
And Clark, their effort on the glass has given them the advantage, but it's also been the effort in general that's made a difference.
Timeout called, the Bucks. And the Mavericks making a change here. Pachulia's checked in, and then for Milwaukee. Miles Plumlee's checked in for Monroe. John Henson comes in for Parker, and it's Vaughn in for Damian Inglis. Henson sets a screen for Mayo. Middleton outside. And he's good on the 3-ball. Middleton's got 7 points for the quarter.
They didn't get a chance to knock one down in the first, but the defense left him a look, and he nailed it. He'll make them pay when he's open.
Mayo kicks to Plumlee. The second chance effort. They shoot again. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line.
And in college, guys, Miles Plumlee had an unusual competitor at his position. It was his younger brother, Mason. I mean, they actually had to compete against one another for playing time.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Lee's checked in. Vasquez, who's checked in for Milwaukee.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Doubled by Felton. Vasquez with it. Now Felton defending. Plumlee. It's deflected. Matthews passes to Felton. Here's Lee. Finishes the break with a slam.
And the big lead becomes bigger. They are playing with purpose here tonight, guys.
And they're doing it at both ends of the floor. I mean, that's what you like to see. They've been controlling the action from both ends of the court.
Deflects the pass. Pachulia with the steal. And now the fast break. Matthews with the ball. It's Matthews on the wing. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Lee dishes to Pachulia. Lets it go. Makes a big high bounce and goes in. 14 points for Wesley Matthews. Well, Greg, going back to those Plumlee brothers you were talking about, there is competition. And then, Clark, you know, there's this friendly rivalry that'll always exist.
Yeah, the brotherly competition, if you will. They have similar bodies and share some of the same attributes as well. Drafted in back-to-back years, both toward the end of the first round. A lot of parallels.
A lot of similarities, you're right.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work on the interior. Really a well-rounded effort overall.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
Here's Vaughn after Wesley Matthews scored. Passes to Vaughn. He feeds it to Henson. Here's the screen for three. Middleton, and the shot is good. Middleton's got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for the Bucks. Here's Lee, and he takes that one up and powers it through.
This is a nice third quarter surge here. They've got it going right now.
And a perfect time to get hot, just as we get into the meat of the second half here. Boy, Vasquez, man, what an example of tremendous passing skill.
And Favors kicks to Matthews. Felton the pass to Matthews. Here's Favors. And Dallas again with the bucket.
And the efficiency is there, but the aggressiveness is really lacking. So far, it hasn't hurt them, though.
Vasquez kicks to Henson. Here's Middleton. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Mavericks ahead, running away with it. And we'll get going after this from the American Airlines Center. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Milwaukee's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. They've got Caspi. Steven Adams is out there with Nowitzki. Then there's Darren Williams. And it's Matthews in at the 2. That's the lineup out there for the Mavericks. And here are the Mavericks now. Greg Monroe unable to get his shot to go. Now Vasquez. Pass to Inglis. Feeds it to Vasquez. And Middleton now atop the key. Great open look there. Middleton's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Bucks. The pass to Matthews. To the middle. Here's Caspi. Matthews dishes to Adams. The lead pass was put in just the right spot.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assist.
Here's Williams. And another basket for Dallas. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for Dallas.
We've seen them make the extra effort from a defensive standpoint, closing out airspace and sending shots back.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
For Dallas, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. With the shot. No good from Caspi. The Bucks have gone 1 of 5 from the field here in the fourth. A lot of misses, just the one make. And there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That'll be his second foul of the game.
You know, another point of contention between every NBA fan is whether or not the age restriction is a good thing. Some want it increased, others want it gone altogether. You know, for me, it's a matter of whether or not you as a team feel that that player can make an impact on your roster.
First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Dallas has gone past the three-point line for 13 of their shots. They're 6 of 13.
Really good ball movement there in transition.
Bucks shooting around 41% on the night. And there are arguments, Clark, on both sides for the NBA and the age restriction it has currently right now. Having one seems to help the level of play overall, but I think there's some improvements that can be made.
Yeah, with the D-League coming into its own, though, Kevin, the discussion has opened up again. NBA teams used to not have a place for high school players. The D-League could serve in that regard now, but having a restriction is something that I think has helped the NBA. I actually would like to see it be 20 years old.
Me too. Charlie Villanueva's checked in for Dallas.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, boy, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
Here's Ennis. The Mavericks making the shot. Parker outside. Down low. And Monroe with the basket on the assist by Parker. 19 points for Greg Monroe. The Mavericks have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Yeah, but they better rally soon because they've given up 3 straight buckets in the paint.
Ennis misses.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it, gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
And Craig Monroe with the slam.
Tell you what, he's not an easy guy to stop when he's got his sight on the rim.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Did he just go chop there with that one-hand tomahawk slam? Sound offensively. Really no other way to put it here in the second half.
There's really no comparison between the teams in terms of the way they've both shot the ball since the break.
Bryant, he's checked in for Jabari Parker. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. Back to Mayo. Wide open. And the rebound goes to Villanueva.
And not a night he's going to want to remember. Just not really able to score the basketball.
And the shot is good.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
Now here's Ennis. The feed to Novak. Poked loose. 2 on none. No one back to stop this. Here's Harris. Finished off the break.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Ennis with the ball. He's guarded by Williams. And here's Ennis. Bryant. The layup missed. Here's Dallas. They're on an 18-6 run. Here's Caspi. They get it back. Takes a 3. And the basket by Harris.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Now, here is Monroe.
Well, there were a few complaints last season about how the playoff seeding was done, most notably in the Western Conference. Portland was the 4th seed for winning their division, but without that division win, would have been the 6th seed.
David Lee checked in for the Mavericks. Matthews comes in for Caspi, and Milwaukee also making a switch. Bonds checked in, out to Lee. Here's Harris. Rebound, Milwaukee. Into the playoffs last year with Portland being a division winner, but getting that 4th seed, that played a huge role in this conversation about playoff seeding structure. San Antonio would end up playing the Clippers in the first round, even though both had better records than the Blazers.
Kevin, no doubt it's a tricky situation. Listen, you want to reward teams for winning their division, but every so often it comes at the expense of several other teams, like it did last year, who just play in stronger divisions. So I think that's something that the league is going to have to look at moving forward.
Dallas has gotten a positive outcome on 7 of their 14 three-pointers in this game. Not bad at all.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Dallas.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that. And so taking a look at their season record, this will be win number 31 on the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting, Greg, will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. I think the next game will be hotly contested.
And beyond the actual result of this game, fans are going to look back and see this was just a monstrous performance for Matthews. Every inch of the floor was his tonight as he came out and injected an energy into every play.
Steve Novak, he's checked in for Milwaukee.
Well, Williams has been great. He has 12 points and 6 assists.
And guys, he's been making play after play on both ends of the floor.
No let up in him, and that's mindset. That's not just physical tenacity, but that's a mental tenacity, too, that he brings to the court.
Now here's Mayo. There's 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Bucks working the ball around. Clock at 6. With the teardrop, and that's 2 points on the layup.
He knew what he wanted to do all along. The teardrop.
Kicks it to Matthews. Jacks up a 3. No good. Here's Ennis. So no problem for Dallas as they get the win. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
Yeah, they were the superior team in every department, in every category to me, Kevin. I know their fans loved it and appreciated it.
And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, I'm here with Dirk Nowitzki. And Dirk, what was the key to the team's success inside tonight?
Well, I think our points of pain come more in transition. We got to push the ball. That's where we are best. We're not really a slow, grinded out kind of team. But if we do have to, and it's a slow game, then we got to find a way to penetrate some, make the defense collapse, and finish around the basket some. I was able to get in there some, so that was big for us, play inside out.
Dirk, great job. Thank you so much. Kevin, you don't necessarily always need a post to score inside.
All right, Doris, thank you. And that about wraps it up. This is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for tuning in. Now time to head over to the studio where the award-winning Ernie Johnson is with Shaq and Kenny, all standing by. Guys, take it away.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Wesley Matthews. He simply had a dominant third quarter, and it quickly became apparent he wanted to exert his control over the tempo of the game.
He was like a second point guard out there for them. Accurate and on time with one pass after the other. It's no wonder he wound up with 11 assists. And with him passing the ball so effectively, it forced the defense into a lot of unusual rotations.
He had a sensational night shooting the ball. Over 60% reminds me of myself. If you're shooting over 60%, you're playing smart. You're being aggressive, and you're creating opportunities. What a spectacular performance.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal.